So I've been reading that book, Atomic Habits, and there's some really good stuff in there. If you haven't read that, I'd highly recommend it. If you are a human, you will find it valuable. There was a part in there, I can't remember what chapter it was in, but it was talking about how in order to really create a new habit, you have to adopt the identity of the person that does that kind of habit. So for example, you're not going to become a runner by just thinking about running. You become a runner by actually taking action, by lacing up your shoes, running your first mile, maybe eventually a 5K, maybe a half marathon, maybe even a full marathon or more at some point. So the more that you run, the more that you become a runner, the more others will begin to see this as well. And they will begin to think of you as a runner. And whenever you see others think of you in a certain way, this will even further reinforce that self-perception that you have of yourself. And it'll just be like a snowball effect. But, on the flip side, if you see yourself as being lazy, your actions will subliminally reflect that without a doubt. So for example, someone that identifies as being lazy will definitely not approach fitness as someone who identifies themselves as being health conscious would. This concept really proves that the way that you see yourself, your own self-perception, will influence your actions, which your actions will influence your reality, whatever that ends up being, and ultimately your outcomes. Atomic Habits isn't as much about business, but the same exact concept is true in business. For example, solid companies have great cultures, and it's often the culture that makes the company so great because people show up all the time, putting forth their best effort, creating the best product ever, the best service ever, etc. Everyone loves to work there. It just builds this reputation of being an amazing place all around, and definitely affects the bottom line in a positive way. So creating a strong culture at your business and your organization will require that you take actions to create a strong culture. A step before that, you have to become an organization that prioritizes culture. You have to become the type of company that, gives back to your employees in some way and makes it a great place to work. And when you embody this type of identity as a company, you start to attract employees and top tier talent that identify this, who are in alignment with good culture and excellence. They end up contributing their best work, which even further skyrockets your growth. But you can't really fake it. You have to actually make the shift yourself. You have to become the type of organization that people would like to work at. Your identity is really the base of everything. The way that you see yourself is going to dictate how the rest of everything else goes. It's going to influence your relationships. It's going to influence your decisions, the actions that you take, and then ultimately your reality. So how do you shift your identity? How do you make this change? Here is how I would recommend approaching it. First, I would cast a vision. I would get super clear on the best version of what you're building. And find examples if you have to. Do whatever it takes to just get really clear and cast a clear picture of what it is that you're building, and make a list, write it all down, get some pictures in there, whatever it takes to cast that clear vision. And then I would also clarify your values. What are the values that you have as a company? What kind of values do you wish to transfer over to people that are buying things from you? Or what kind of value do you want employees to get after interacting with you? What do you want to stand for as an organization? And then step 3, I would actually take action. I would actually do something about it to make this shift so that you're not just stuck thinking about it. Having a vision without taking an action is just a dream because nothing happens. So I would recommend committing to a real change. And the fast track to doing that is to hire a coach, hire a consultant, hire an agency, take on a commitment of some sort with an outside entity that aligns with both step 1 and step 2, that aligns with the vision that you have. So somebody that has helped do this for other organizations. And step 2, someone that aligns with these values that you've outlined. And that can be your criteria in finding the right person to really help you make that shift and hold you accountable and walk you through the whole thing. So yeah, that's pretty much the process that I would take, is cast a vision, get clear on your values, and find someone to really hold you accountable and make it happen. Making a big change like this can be really hard and scary. And some people wait until they hit absolute rock bottom to make a difference. But you can take that energy, that fear of hitting rock bottom, and channel it straight into shifting into the best version of yourself, and find somebody to help you do it. It's way more fun to do this stuff with people than to do it all alone. And it really all starts with your decision to just take a step, freaking do it, make it happen.